Oh, are you?
Awesome.
Ooh, we going?
Good evening, everyone. Time is now 7 o'clock, and the date is March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And now we're on to the announcements and presentations. Well, just talk into the mic.
Sorry. Do you want me to do this right this second?
What is it that you're
I'm
requesting?
going to make a motion to move the agenda item H1 to after A3.
Second.
Well, somebody has to move that motion first.
First.
So
Move.
Mr. Durkin's going to move that motion.
Second.
Counselor Vignali seconds it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. We will move item H1 up until after A3.
Thank you.
And our spotlight on schools, unfortunately, will be delayed to our next meeting on April 7th due to an illness of the young individual who we are very much looking forward to welcoming at our next meeting. So now on to item A2, Library Board of Trustees Annual Report by Suzanne Amoruso. Please welcome and come forward. Good evening.
Okay, so I'll put the microphone down. So I only have a 30-page report. No, I'm only kidding. So happy St. Patrick's Day. So I'm glad that I'm here tonight and I can share some good news for a change. So basically, an annual report is just supposed to summarize the good things that are happening within all the boards. So as you know, last year started off with a wonderful thing. The library opened its doors at its new location at 25 Pier Marketplace. That opening was preceded by the hard work of the library's director, Patty Arkwright, and the library staff. Like, they worked tirelessly to make that happen and have it been well organized. On their days off, they worked. And people coming in for the first time before our formal opening couldn't believe how well it was organized for just being moved in. So at the end of January, though, we formalized our opening with a celebration, and it started on January 26th with a Friday evening reception of major donors. Informal tours were given, and then the next day, that was dedicated as a coffee reception for the Friends of the Narragansett Library, who worked so diligently to support the project. And people were very, very happy with that, and they supported us with fundraising, a lot of that, to defray the costs to the taxpayer. And then on Sunday, we finished the whole thing up on January 28th. The opening festivities concluded with a community open house. And there was a formal ribbon cutting done by Patty Arkwright, our library director, who was accompanied by Karen Mellor, who's the chief of the Ocean State Library Services, which is the group that helped us financially, and town council members. And at that time, we also had Senator Jack Reed and Representative Seth Magaziner, and David Cicilline came from the Rhode Island Foundation, and that enabled people to celebrate this and see all the new features the library had to offer. So we expanded a lot of our programs. We kept the Stone Soup, which is an annual event, and it ran so much smoother because we had much more space, plugs for the soup and everything like that. And all the proceeds from this and food donations go to the local food pantry, which is located at St. Peter's by the Sea in Narragansett. It's open to everyone. And then Pettisquam's Talk series, which is now going on. Again, it's an annual thing. enjoyed having more occupancy. So I think the room can hold, without the doors being open, about 80 people. And we've been filling it up for all these events. A lot of people were interested in World War II history and hurricane stuff. And then the kids were able to utilize the space also. And this animal show given by Dave Marchetti, which is really fun. Greg Lato had a musical performance, and the young adult programs have been expanded, and they can offer more Harry Potter stuff and Dungeons and Dragons, of course. So, and the newest thing we have is a makerspace, which we did not have in the old library, which now has a 3D printer. And the two top things to print out are the towers, because a lot of adults are using that, and dinosaurs. And there's final heat transfers, and you can make buttons. I mean, it's just got a lot to go. There's sewing machines, so that's expanding. And then the reference desk is located in a, has more space. And that desk alone averages about 20 questions a day. And not all of them are related to how to get my book and stuff. A lot of them for Libby, ebooks. And if somebody comes with a phone question, we're more than happy to help. It doesn't have to be strictly, library equipment. So we have, the biggest thing we have, and we're slowly getting there, is the town plus the library signed for the solar installation on the roof. And it was a little bit delayed, but it's moving along now, and we're hoping by the summer it will be completed. And it will include 2 EV chargers, and this will be the first library in the state to have solar energy. So we're really excited about that. And then, to sum up, we had some members of our board their terms had expired, and there were 3 of them, and they left the board after extremely dedicated service, which really helped us get the new building, and we appreciate their efforts. And in their place, we have 3 new members that joined the board. And we're just working together as a team to get the solar going. And I would sum up and say that in 2025, our goal is to enrich our patrons' lives, and which in turn will make us a stronger community, which we definitely need. And I just had a few numbers. The number of visits for the library last year were 51,052. The number of books checked out was 127,026. Ebooks were 44,471. Wi-Fi connections in and out of the library were 16,847. New cards, and I know this is even continuing this year, was 1,142. And renewals of existing cards were 597. So the number of Narragansett resident card holders is 8,014. So we have a lot of, people that love our library, and we have a lot of people from other communities which have always used our library, and we're more than welcome to share our library with anyone, because all libraries are part of the Ocean State Library System. So you don't have to be in that town to use that library that you're visiting. And a lot of people comment on how helpful and how friendly our staff is. And I think that's the biggest thing I'd like you to get out of this report, is that they are the core of our library. So that's my report. Anybody have any questions?
I'll just start off with some comments. Really, really impressive to hear the numbers, and I think we all appreciate data, but real heartfelt thank you goes out to the library board, the library staff, Patty Arkwright. I know there are a lot of individuals to be named, and many are here in attendance today, for keeping up the good fight for so many years. We've heard it once, too many times actually, even knocking on doors, by just the reiteration of the fact that, communities are developed around the library, and to have that center in our community, providing these incredible number of services. And it sounds like so many people have already received the reward of the service from our new library, and I very much look forward to seeing it continue to progress, and highly recommend, if I can make a soundbite to anyone listening at home, if you have not made your way down to the new library at this point, I don't know what it is that you've been doing all this time, but please make your way down there at some point and see just how amazing of a facility and the resources there are down there. It's a tremendous staff, super friendly, and it's really embodies everything that we hope to see here in Narragansett. So I don't know if anyone else has any other comments or questions.
Just like to say, strong library, strong community.
Yes, definitely.
And there's no question about it. And thank you. I go there a
you're
lot.
welcome.
And it's great. Great what you're doing there.
Okay. Everybody happy?
Things are worth fighting for. And the beginnings of our political group started there in one of those meeting rooms, and with Susan, who deserves a lot of credit for everything she's done. She's here again tonight. So
Definitely.
good luck with everything, anything we can do to help, you know.
Okay, great. All righty.
Thank you to the board. Thank you to the staff. Thank you for all of your continued efforts.
You're welcome.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
So next item on the agenda is the town manager's update. Jim?
Good evening, members of the council, people who are here this evening, and those who are watching from home or whether they're going to watch it later. The Narragansett Police Union will have commenced discussions regarding the expiration of the CBA, which expires June 30th of this year. The town council has been provided the proposed budget information for their perusal. The first of the budget work sessions, and the public can be present, will be held on Monday, April 7th. That will be for community development and information technology. And the other ones will be held on April 15th, 16th, and 17th at 6 p.m. here in the council chambers to go through the budget department by department with the council. On the agenda, although it's an agenda item, I'm not going to today we appointed as the acting municipal court administrator, Miss Eileen Cassane. She was promoted effective today into this acting role. The permanency of that position is on the agenda for this evening. Eileen served as the clerk of the municipal court just prior to this promotion. And we wish Eileen the best in this and congratulate her on it. That position became vacant because of a resignation. The Narrow River dredging study. There's been a lot of chatter about it in the community, and there's some misinformation out there, so I just want to make sure that everyone is aware of what's going on with it now. The previous town council approved their desired dredging option for which the town would pursue a permit. That option was chosen on October 7th of 2024. Once that dredging option was selected by the council, then the town could apply for the permit. You have to have the option in your hand before you can move forward. Fourth Engineering has been working on this since October, and they will be distributing the draft permit to the Dunes Club and the Audubon Society. There are butters to the area, so they have to be notified, and they've already put their input in, and that'll be put in for this week for comments. And they plan to submit to the regulatory agencies for the permitting by the end of this month. From the engineering firm, both will work to expedite any revisions to the permit application package based on feedback from the abutters. Right now, we're targeting a final submission of the permit applications to the agencies by the end of the month. It could take up to 6 months for the approval of this process. Once the permit is approved, there may be modifications by the regulatory agencies. Once approved, an RFP will be published, and a qualified bidder will be brought before the town council for approval, contingent upon funding. Currently, the town does not have a funding source for this venture. The town has submitted for congressional directed spending grants again this year with Washington representatives. And those were just recently submitted last week or the week before. And those are the facts regarding the Narrow River dredging process.
Jim, will we get a copy of the draft when it's ready?
Absolutely.
Any other questions or comments? Nope. Are you all set?
I am. Thank you.
So next would be the moved agenda item. Is there a recognizing agenda item H1 from the Town Council? Is there a motion to adopt a resolution recognizing the Maury Lunchen's Memorial Library as a public institution for the residents and visitors to enjoy in the town of Narragansett?
I make that motion.
Second?
Discussion? I do have the language of the resolution. Councilor Colonies, I know this is your item. If you would like, you can read the resolution, or if you'd like me to read it, that's fine.
You can read it. I think that, I just want to say that
Sure.
I think it's appropriate that it happens tonight in lieu of our library report for the evening, and I think it's great to finally declare it as a public institution so the town is well aware of it.
I agree. And once I read the resolution, I will open the floor up to the public if anyone would like to get up and comment. So the resolution reads, it is a resolution of the town of Narragansett, Rhode Island regarding the Maury Lunchen's Memorial Library. Whereas the Maury Lunchen's Memorial Library is recognized as a public institution in the town of Narragansett, and whereas the Maury Lunchen's Memorial Library is governed by the Board of Trustees, which is made up of 7 members of the Narragansett community, and whereas the Maury Lunchen's Board of Trustees are legally responsible for the governance of the library and conducting its operations in accordance with local, state, and federal laws, and whereas the Maury Lunchen's Memorial Library is funded by the town of Narragansett and the Rhode Island Office of Library and Information Services in order to provide access to information through materials, research services, community events, and through the library collection. And whereas the Maury Lunchen's Memorial Library Director continues to be invited as a participant in all senior management meetings offered by the town of Narragansett, and whereas the Maury Lunchen's Memorial Library will share town services with all other town departments when feasible, and whereas the Maury Lunchen's Memorial Library offers a wide variety of free public programs to patrons of all ages to enjoy, and whereas the Narragansett residents and visitors will enjoy this new state-of-the-art modern library for years to come, and now therefore be it resolved that the Town Council of the Town of Narragansett do hereby recognize the Maury Lunchen's Memorial Library as a public institution for the residents and visitors to enjoy in the town of Narragansett. Once approved, it will be adopted this 17th day of March 2025. So with that being said, are there any questions or comments from the public? Yes, please come forward.
Susan Cicilline, Bonanno, 9 Secluded Drive. I actually had a little speech to say, but you read it so beautifully, Alex, so I'm going to skip all that. And I'm here tonight because I wanted to hear that resolution be finally passed. It was something that I tried in my term, but the president and the solicitor and so on, it just didn't stay up, so it was removed. So I'm thrilled tonight to hear that you're going to recognize the Maury Lunchen's Library as a public institution, and I couldn't be prouder. I actually brought you all, just in case you didn't have library cards, so if I could approach.
Thank you.
I'm so glad about Sue's report that so many people are using the library, and I encourage everybody to come and enjoy that public space. Programs are free. It's a wonderful opportunity, and it took us a long time to get that building built. So thanks to everybody, and congratulations for the resolution.
Thank you. And thank you for your hard work and service in sharing this with us. We really appreciate it. Oh, we will. Thank you. Does anyone else from the public have any other comments? Anyone from the council have any additional comments?
I just wanted to thank Susan again for all of your support for the library. It's been amazing.
at a time when our public institutions are under attack. I think it's important that we take this time to recognize and protect this particular public institution.
Agreed. Any other comments? Nope. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. All right. Now, before continuing on, I do want to make an announcement that item H6 under the Town Council will be pulled from tonight's agenda based on the recommendation of the Chair of the Library Board, as we will wait to schedule that at a later time when it's more convenient for everyone. So moving forward is the approval of minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the January 27th, 2025 work session?
You going to include them all?
Can I can do all now? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jim. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of, as described on items B1, B2, B3, and B4?
Motion to approve minutes B1 through B4.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Next, on to open forum. Jim, has anyone signed up for open forum?
First on the list, Joe Volpe.
Mr. Volpe? And just as a reminder to everyone, please state your name and address, and the time will be limited to 3 minutes.
Good evening. Joe Volpe, 21 Harbor Island Road. I just want to say thank you for putting the roundtable work session together. Donna, and I know Councilor Vignali and Councilor Colonies, I know you had a lot to do with it. I felt it was respectful, and it definitely brought some good ideas together. I joked when I came in that my only comment was the sessions were a little short, and I wrote that on the survey. Sort of had a little bit of a speed dating feel to it. Put all your cards on the table, move on to the next one, and I just would have liked to see a little bit more time. But more importantly, we didn't know what we were getting into. It stimulated discussions prior to the work session, but mainly amongst like-minded people. What I found afterwards, and this is what I think is the most critical part, is there's been a lot of discussions and meetings, I know for me, at coffee shops, with people that didn't necessarily think had the same perspective, or I didn't understand their perspective. And it works both ways. They found a little bit more respect for what I do as a homeowner, as a landlord, and my connection to the community. So like-minded before, but more importantly, the people that you didn't think that you would be able to gel with, I've had a lot of conversations after, so I thank you. I thank you for doing that. I think that's really what you were trying to get at as far as the community is concerned. Maybe I'm an optimist, and I know we have a lot of work to do and a ways to go, but I feel like we're closer than you think, and we're on the cusp of doing something extraordinary. So I want to stay positive. I don't feel that this is too hard to do. And if I can also piggyback some of these comments about housing with the ordinance on some of the things you're doing as a town. I commented on the accessory dwelling units, how that's going to help housing. Some of the things that were mentioned in the bulk zoning, sending that back for review. I don't think anyone's a fan of some of these dormitory-style houses, but there are a lot of properties and lots that may be borderline that perhaps we can be creative where we can find a way to use those lots to do something with. So the rub or the challenge for the planning board is to adhere to some of the bulk zoning, but also keep in mind we don't want to forget about some of those lots that can be available to future families. So thank you to the town for everything that you're doing to help with housing, and thank you for the work session. For the most part, everything I've heard has been positive. Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Sheila Sweeney.
Sheila Sweeney, 39 Sunset Shore Drive, Narragansett. I just wanted to say the same thing that Joe was saying. I just wanted to say thank you very much for the town for allowing us to come and sit at the round table and get an opportunity to talk to people who are pros and cons. I thought it was a great session. I think everybody respected themselves, and we were able to get, ideas, at least on paper, for you guys to see where everybody's at. Also, the monitors, I think they did a great job. I learned how to control a crowd. Just clap your hands, and I'm not a teacher, so I was pretty proud of them to do that. So I just wanted to say thanks again for everything that you guys have been doing towards this. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all that's on the list.
Okay.
Can I say something?
Can you wait until the end?
Oh,
Or is it indirectly to that?
Yeah, basically. I just wanted.
Okay. If it's a comment about the whole workshop, I'd rather wait until the end of the open forum.
Oh, okay.
Is that all right?
I don't want to forget.
Okay.
All right.
Just put up a finger. Please come forward.
Oh, I didn't know there's more public.
Yes.
Okay.
John Hanley, 10 Wilderness Drive. I will ditto that. Okay, but that's not why I'm here. So at the meeting 2 weeks ago, a motion was introduced where you proposed ordinance amendments to the planning board for review and comment. I only have 3 minutes, so can't go into detail. But suffice it to say that these changes would have a catastrophic and irreversible effect on the town. 7 residents spoke in opposition to this motion, including former council members, including a former council president, pointing out the devastation these ordinance changes would have. No resident spoke in support of them. After this rebuke by the residents, in your council discussion after the public comments were finished, you made the following points. Councilwoman Vignali, co-sponsor, I have not made a decision either one way on any of these issues. You're talking the talk. Councilman Colonies, co-sponsor, I agree with Donna, not sold on all of these. You're talking the talk. President Menzies, definitely don't agree with everything in here. Talking the talk. Councilman Tariel today, don't support everything in here. Talking the talk. Councilman Durkin, not talking at all. Then came the vote on the motion, where it's now time to walk the walk. What do? You approve it 5-0. I have the following observations. You've probably made political history here by proposing sweeping zoning changes that you all say are not in agreement with. That's buffoonery. Had any of you even read the 266 pages of changes that you submitted, understood the ramifications? I think not. How many hours and how many of our tax dollars were wasted researching and putting together this atrocity? Let me say it again, 266 pages with no public input. You had the opportunity to withdraw this motion, take a second look, and resubmit it tonight. Yet all of you voted to push it forward. That vote made it clear. These are your proposed amendments, submitted and sponsored by council members, your blueprint for the town going forward. I don't think this is what the residents voted for when they put you guys in office. One difference between you and me is I think your agenda is trying to satisfy a group of mostly non-residents, while I'm fighting to protect and preserve my quality of life. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Yes, please come forward. Oh. Please state your name and address. Hello.
Hi, my name is Gina Marie Henry. I live at 40 Lake Worth Avenue, and I am here because Earth Day is coming up, and on April 22nd. I see a lot of trees being cut down, and I wanted to stop.
Just try to talk right into the mic.
Okay. I also see plastic and trash all over the place, and I want it to change. So I think we should stop littering and cutting down trees. I think we should have one day a month that we all come together and collect trash or plant trees. Hopefully you agree with me, because cutting down trees and littering is not good for the planet. And this planet is our home. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Not easy for anyone to get up in the public to speak. I think you did a tremendous job. Thank you for coming. Does anyone else from the public have a comment? Yes, Ms. Kopek.
Good evening. Deb Kopek,
Good
Point
evening.
Judith Road, Narragansett. I haven't had to do that in a long time. First, I'd like to, really echo what Gigi just said. I've always been sort of environmentally engaged, as some of you know, and I absolutely agree with litter. It would be really lovely to, it'd be kind of nice if the town council sponsored a litter day, so that people could go out and collect trash, particularly along Point Judith Road, if you really want to know the truth. So I wanted to mention that, because I think it does take a lot of courage to come up here, and for, and the children have a way of making us aware of things that we forget about sometimes. So we should do that. And I would do it myself, except, I have a few things going on. In fact, the other thing I wanted to say was about the library. Once I decided that I wasn't going to run for office again, the one thing that I really, really, really wanted to do was be on the board of directors for the Maury Lynchon's Library, and I was appointed, and it has been a really excellent experience for me. And everybody's been to the library, right?
Of course.
Yeah, okay, good. Good to know. And I will tell you, it is a magnificent building. It is a magnificent opportunity for community. It's a wonderful experience for people who like to read books, but not just for people who like to read books. The first time I walked in there, I went into the children's room, and I said to Jane, the children's librarian, you know what I feel like doing? I feel like grabbing 6 children's books and lying down on the rug and just reading them. And it's that welcoming and that wonderful. So I'm so happy that we have mostly completed it. I can't wait till the solar stuff is done, speaking of the environment. And by the way, we will have the first municipal electric charging stations in Narragansett. There are other stations in Narragansett, but these will be the first municipal ones. So I think that's really a great move towards the future, no matter what happens elsewhere. And I just wanted to make that point. So thanks.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Anyone else from the public? Yes, please come forward. Good evening.
Pat Cole, 20 Bayberry Road in Narragansett. I have the pleasure of serving on the Board of Trustees at the library, and I have to tell you that every time I go there, and I go there often because I love to just walk through, there are people in every part of that library. Upstairs, sitting down and reading, some older people there reading all the papers. Some of the younger teens are in the area. I just had the pleasure of talking with the person who is the new makerspace librarian, and he's so enthusiastic. And I asked him, how are things going? You busy? Oh, yeah. He said, we've had a lot of things going on. In fact, he said, in one case, it was a Girl Scout troop, and they were all going to make little decals to go on these, I guess, things that they were going to be carrying. And he said, and it was going to be great, except that there were 19 of them, and I had an hour, but the first half hour was taken up with their snacks and their giggling, And he said, so I didn't get a chance to teach them how to do this, so they have to come back so I can teach them how. And he was just very excited about what he's doing. All of the staff is excited and happy, and you have to admit that the public library is really the only place where everyone is welcome and you don't have to buy anything. You don't have to go, you go to the mall, you're walking around, you have to, you're going to buy something. Nope, in the public library, you can walk there, sit on a chair, enjoy the atmosphere. You can even bring coffee in there or something else to drink, but you have to have a cover on it. And I've seen a lot of people enjoying that time. So thank you so very much for supporting us, and come and see us. We'd love to have you. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Anyone else from the public wish to speak? Seeing none. Next on the agenda.
Can I just say?
Oh, yeah, sorry, Mr. Durkin, if you would like to take
I just
this
wanted
time
to say
respond.
something about the last agenda item. Donna got us out of that jam with the roundtable discussion, and I don't think it could have ever been better than Donna's friend that she met in the Rotary Club. That was just like something that was like a miracle that happened, you know? And then to get accused of like, you know, her being your friend was like embarrassing, but that was so successful, and I think it brought a lot of people together. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you. Next on to consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve consent agenda item C1?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Next, on to new business from the fire department. Is there a motion to approve the purchase of 10 sets of firefighter protective turnout gear from MES Shipman's Fire Equipment Company pursuant to the Sourcewell contract in the amount of $45,418.90?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Anyone from the town council have any questions or comments?
I just like the idea that they look carefully at the materials that they're replacing and use them. If they're, you know, in good shape and up to standard, they use them for training. I think that's a great idea, and a great way to continue using the materials and while we replace the ones that, you know, that need to be replaced.
Do we know how often these get replaced?
It's 5 to 10 years.
Well, I
based.
see the 10 years. But
Yeah, it's
wasn't
5
sure.
to 10.
Okay.
PFAS is a lot of the chemicals that firefighters over the years have dealt with has resulted in many of the legislative decisions for compensation for people who suffer certain illnesses related to the chemicals they're exposed to. This type of gear is more up to date and more protective of our firefighters, and they've instituted a great cleaning system for the ones that they have to protect their firefighters as well.
Excellent. Anyone else have any other questions or comments?
I just want to say that I think it's absolutely important to protect the firefighters with new equipment, so 100%.
Anyone else from the council? Anyone from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Next, on to the police department. Is there a motion to approve the purchase and installation of one 12.5-ton HVAC carrier rooftop unit for the police safety building from JMB Mechanical, Inc. in the amount of $36,135.75, utilizing the general HVAC services contract?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Anyone from the council have any questions or comments?
I just thought of something. I was thinking about the solar panels that they're putting on the library building. Now, the library building is a flat roof, right? So that's a perfect spot for that. Is the police station flat?
I've never been up on the roof itself. It appears to be. It is
Yeah.
pitched, though.
Does it?
It is pitched.
I mean, I think that's a great idea for any of our municipal buildings. If we can hide them out of sight and get some, you know, free juice up there.
It's too late for this.
Is it?
I can tell you that, yeah. This is bordering on an emergency purchase because it has to be installed by the summer. We house people that are incarcerated, that need the air conditioning, people who spend 16 hours in the building working. And just the engineering study alone would not be sufficient to get this accomplished. But
No, I mean, as a helper.
Oh, yeah, going
what I mean?
forward,
Like,
sure.
It's a good place to put panels. You don't have to see them, you know, on a flat roof. Just a thought. Huh?
You'd never see him anyway.
No, no one looks up. Yeah, yeah. They look nice when they're new, but when they get older, you know. Just a thought.
Does anyone have any questions or comments on this particular item?
Not sure I saw this in the agenda item, but just how old is the prior HVAC system? If we know.
I don't know. I know it's unserviceable. Chief, do you know the age of it?
So for those at home, replacing one from the early 2000s.
Yeah, it's been under constant repair. It just finally
Well
is.
past overdue then to have this updated.
So then what do we think is the lifespan of this updated model that's going in?
Hopefully at least 25 years.
Probably not 25, but if we got 25, then we'd be lucky.
Yeah.
You know, 15 to 20 years on a compressor in that environment, you know.
I mean, it seems like a common purchase going around between the schools, you know, within the last 4 years now on the town level, just trying to get everyone up to, you know, to this century. So.
Seems like maintenance we should expect, right?
I agree. Any other questions or comments? Anyone from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Next, on to item E2. Is there a motion to approve the police department's request to hire 2 probationary patrol officers?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Anyone from the town council have any questions or comments?
These are probationary, they're just to fill rank and file, or they're not additional?
These are from retiring officers.
Yeah.
To fill the slots.
Are these going to be straight out of the academy? Are these going to just?
We're in the process now. We have some lateral applicants, and we have applicants with no prior experience that are competing for these positions.
Any other questions or comments from the council? Any questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Next, on to the town clerk. Is there a motion to approve the request to fill the position of municipal court administrator and any potential vacancies created through internal candidates?
Motion to approve.
Yeah, second.
Discussion? Any questions or comments? This is a pretty straightforward procedure item. Oh, anyone from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Next, on to the town manager. Is there a motion to, or item G1, is there a motion to schedule a budget work session for the town of Narragansett fiscal year 2026 budget with staff on April 7th, 2025 at 6:15 p.m.?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
My mic is weird. Is 6:15 enough? Like, would an extra 15 minutes help or no? Jim?
We're 2 departments with very small budgets.
Okay.
And, yeah, so this was actually already something that was already brought up in your earlier report. This is just making it formally voted upon that we will have those 2 short budget meetings on April 7th at 6:15 p.m.
For the public notice, yep.
Yep.
Perfect, thank you.
Anyone from the public have any questions or comments? Anyone else from the council? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Next, on to G2. Is there a motion to approve the tentative agreements negotiated between the town and Narragansett Firefighters Local Number 1589, International Association of Firefighters, AFL-CIO, for the period of July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025, and July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2028?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? I just want to give a soundbite to Councillor Vignali, who really led, and many others, I'm just starting with Councillor Vignali, Jim Tierney, Christine, our chief, fantastic partners throughout this whole negotiation process from the town side. And the firefighters union, very respectful. Councilor Vignali and I, this was our first experience in this term negotiating, and I can't say enough high remarks for both sides negotiating. And I will reiterate that we retain all 8 firefighters with the agreed upon terms between the town and the firefighters union. Councilor Vignali, do you have any comments?
I do. The recent negotiations addressed 2 key objectives for me and the town: the safety of the residents and the college students and the visitors to Narragansett, and the concerns of the taxpayers. I would say that this contract negotiated was unique because, contrary to misinformation, the town never was in support of eliminating the 8 firefighters that were brought on by the SAFER grant. So we had the significant challenge of absorbing the salaries and the pensions of 8 firefighters while addressing the issues brought forth by both sides. However, through discussion, both parties listened to each other's positions, and with respectful, constructive back and forth and substantial give and take, we were able to come to an agreement. Although neither side got all that they wanted, I believe that the final agreement is fair. Both parties walked away from the negotiating table shaking hands, and I would like to thank the firefighters union for coming to the table willing to understand the uniqueness of the situation and willingness to compromise. I believe we can look forward to an ongoing collaborative relationship with our firefighters to ensure the safety of all the people in Narragansett.
Excellent. Anyone else from the council have any comments?
I just want to say, I want to thank you, Councilman Menzies, for your negotiations with them as well. So you left yourself out, and I'd be remiss not to thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks, Alex and Donna. And I just wanted the public to know that if this inspection process happens with the short-term rentals, that we have an additional 4 qualified fire inspectors that we can use for inspecting some of the houses if that moves forward. So that's, they're all qualified to do that, as well as the fire marshal.
And I'd also like to thank the negotiating team, and it was great working with all of you guys. Thank you.
Any other comments?
What can I say that hasn't been said? Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Fire Union. Thank you, everybody, for coming to the table and settling this matter.
Excellent. Does anyone from the public have any questions or comments? Yes, please come forward, Ms. Kopek. And welcome back.
Hey, thanks. Don't get used to me. I'm Deb Kopek, appoint you to throw Narragansett. Donna, I want to thank you. I think you've done, everything I have heard about the work that you did on this negotiation was really, really great. I did the last one with Susan, and we had a really a strong and excellent experience, and with everybody who was part of the team. So I just think, and Alex, you guys did a really magnificent job getting this from a place where it was in a little bit of a stalemate into something that was acceptable for all parties, which is really, nobody walks away not wanting something else, but if you walk away and you have an agreement, it's a wonderful thing. So I just want to thank you so much for doing that. And I'm so glad we have these firefighters. My own personal experience has been that it's great to have all the firefighters that we have, and it doesn't even bother me that every single one of them passes my house whenever they're going anywhere. So it's really great. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Next, on to the town council. We've already voted on H1. Now on to item H2. Is there a motion to discuss and provide objectives for the Galley Advisory Committee?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
All right, so this is my agenda item. I presently sit on the Galilee Advisory Committee, and in meetings with the committee, it seems that the scope and purview is rather limited at the moment. I put this on the agenda to discuss some potential areas where we would like the advisory committee to focus on. Presently, their big thing was the RFQ for beautification down at the port. They hang flowers every summer season, but I just wanted to open this up to council, open this up to public as well, if there are any ideas on how we might be able to direct them further. So one of my ideas was just further options for beautifications, perhaps walking tours or, holiday decorations in winter. But certainly open, very open to hearing other thoughts as well.
Councilor Vignali, would you like to start?
Some of my suggestions, and one of the things that immediately came to mind is maybe you can talk or survey the business owners down in Galilee and ask them what they would like to see to help improve what's going on down in Galilee. Maybe there's something that the advisory committee could bring to us that we can do to help with that, or even the fishermen. Talk to the fishermen and find out from them what they would like to see.
Yes, Ryan. I think that, when I was a kid, and probably up till I was maybe 25, I'd say we had the Rhode Island Tuna Tournament, and that was, Galilee was like the tuna tournament of the East Coast. And then somewhere along the line, it just faded out. And I think it was maybe because of the lack of tuna, actually. But for the last 3 or 4 years, like, we have giant tuna, like, at Scarborough Beach, swimming with people, at the end of the summer. So I think we could do that again, and I think there'd be a nice demand for it. And although the fish are expensive now, maybe they can just hang for a shorter period of time, so you can still, use the...
Maybe a fishing weekend with a 1-2 display window.
So I don't know. There's some people around that, some old timers that still are part of that, like Alex Petrucci, people like that, They're all a lot of them are from Warwick. And I think that would be a great thing to get started again.
Sure. Thank you.
Councilor Colonies, do you have any suggestions or thoughts?
I just thought of this, but if you were just talking about like holiday decorations, perhaps a holiday stroll at the businesses that might be there that are open. I'm not sure how logistically that would work, but it's an interesting thing.
Cool.
Gino, I don't know if this belongs with the Galley Advisory Committee, but one idea that I had while there was all sorts of different issues being brought up when knocking on doors was this interesting idea of looking at ways in which we can better celebrate our fishermen and women in Galilee. There's a lot of people, even from all around the state, who come down here to use Galilee, who do business out of Galilee. Looking at I know in other areas around New England, they got marine museums, marine fisheries museums, ways in which people, members in the community, tourists can come in and learn about the great many sacrifices that our men and women do to serve our community, serve our fisheries community. And it's a great industry for the state of Rhode Island right there out of Galilee. So I think there are many ways in which we can celebrate them and kind of better educate the Narragansett community and the state of those very important services. So just a general idea. And this is, I'm going to make a pitch to all other committees that might be out there listening in and having a similar question. If anyone has, would like some guidance on objectives or projects to work on, please reach out to Mr. Tierney or I directly, and we will either work to get it on the agenda or figure out the best ways in which we can continue to provide you that guidance. So does anyone else have any other questions or comments?
Just piggybacking on that, if anybody would like to be a member and participate with the Galilee Advisory Committee, we welcome any and all members, so please apply.
Excellent. Does anyone from the public have any recommendations? And if you're at home or if you think of recommendations later, please send us your emails, your suggestions at any time.
Call Kevin Durfee. I don't think he's on there. He should be on there.
Okay. Question for Sarah. If we are issuing directives to the committee, is this something that needs to be an agenda item, or is this something that I can follow up with the committee offline about?
Nope, it's just advisory, so you can just discuss.
Perfect.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
that's all for me.
Next, on to agenda item H3. Is there a motion to adopt a resolution in support of the restoration of general revenue sharing to cities and towns?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Discussion. This came to us. It was shared, I believe this was Portsmouth, if I'm remembering correctly. It is on the agenda, which my computer is.
Barville, Portsmouth, one of those.
So we read the language, we agree, I am hoping that we agreed to the resolution here, and the resolution reads as follows. It is a resolution of the town of Narragansett regarding the restoration of general revenue sharing to cities and towns, whereas cities and towns across Rhode Island have been struggling with the recent inflationary environment, and whereas in 2009 the General Assembly discontinued revenue sharing due to the economic collapse, and whereas the removal of the general revenue sharing forced the cities and towns to increase property taxes to make up for this loss in revenue, and whereas the state of Rhode Island has seen a very good rebound from the economic crisis brought on by the COVID pandemic, and whereas the past 3 fiscal years the state of Rhode Island has benefited from the economic rebound with $417 and $878 million respectively, and a $410 million surplus for fiscal year 2023, and estimated $98 million for fiscal year 2024. And whereas the car tax phase payments benefited our citizens in the short term, they did not provide cities and towns with an escalator to make up for lost revenue and inflation. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town Council respectfully requests the Rhode Island General Assembly and Governor reinstate general revenue sharing for all 39 cities and towns to help reduce the impact of inflation of the citizens of Rhode Island. Be it further resolved that the Town Council respectfully requests that the respective city and town councils of Rhode Island join in our request to have the General Assembly restore general revenue in the upcoming fiscal year 2025 budget. If approved, it will be adopted this 17th day of March 2025. So does anyone from the public have any comments? Anyone from the council? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Next, is there a motion to reschedule the work session that was previously scheduled for March 17th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. to discuss the short-term rental ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. And my sticky notes. Oh, thank you. So we have a few options here. March 31st. So basically, if you can think of a Monday, it's an option. Does anyone have any, the ideal meeting time that we're looking at, knowing that it's budget season coming up? I don't know what everyone's schedule is like. I think, there's probably going to be a problem with the first recommended date that I throw out there of April 21st. Does anyone have any comments? Will you be out of town on April 21st?
I will not be here. I will not be in town on April 21st.
Okay. And let me pull up my calendar here. Okay. So Councilor Vignali will not be present on April 21st. Okay. So alternative options are we schedule it during an off regular meeting. I don't know how anyone else feels about April 14th or April 28th. Alternatively, we could schedule it for May 5th, right before our regular meeting.
So I'm not here on the 14th.
I am not here on the 14th either.
Here
Well, before the regular meeting.
So they're already not going to be, well, Counselor Vignali is not going to be present for the regular meeting on the 21st.
Oh, I thought you said May 5th.
Nope, I did say May 5th.
Oh, okay.
So that would be the next regular meeting option, so we could do May 5th. That'll give us plenty of time, and hopefully we'll be able to even distribute those results to the public
Yeah.
ahead of time for their
I think
review.
that would be great.
So, all right, is everyone okay with May 5th at, what time did we say, 5:30? 5:30 PM on May 5th.
I would just advocate for the 28th personally, but I can make the 5th if need be.
April 28th
Yes,
on an off meeting,
yes.
okay?
But if the consensus is for the 5th, then I can make that work too.
Would anyone oppose to coming in on a special meeting on April 28th to address the short-term rental workshop?
No, not at all.
Will you be traveling, Counselor Durkin?
I don't know. It's May, so I won't be probably.
Well, this is April 28th,
Yeah.
if we did that one.
I mean, it's just, I guess.
It's a
For
matter of
Ryan,
preference.
You can do either one, Ryan, or?
I can do either one, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, is it better to have more time so that people can read or is it less?
So I feel like it's going to be a well-attended meeting, and if we block ourselves into only an hour, we might get ourselves into some trouble.
Well, yeah, I mean, I figure,
I agree.
I think that's a good idea, more time.
yeah, I don't think it's meant to restrict any community involvement in the discussion. This is only the first of likely more, multiple discussions. So, I'm looking at May 5th, and it's already, we're almost halfway through the year here. It's crazy, but, I think April 28th should work just fine.
It's just one more part of the process,
Yeah.
of hearing what people are thinking and saying.
I mean, it's going to be the
So I
first
think
meeting
it
where
can
we
be-
have the data. And I
Yeah.
think that it's a good thing to go over pretty thoroughly the first.
So you guys are in favor of April 28th then?
Yeah, as long as Jim can make it.
Yeah, I can make it.
All right, so we will reschedule for April 28th at 5:30 PM, the short-term rental workshop follow-up discussion. Does anyone from the public have any comments? Nope.
Is there time for that?
That was at 5:30 PM on April 28th. Any additional comments from the council? Nope. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Last item on the agenda. Is there a motion to appoint 2 members from the town council to serve on the negotiations team for collective bargaining with the Narragansett Police Department Local 303 in the town of Narragansett?
So moved.
Second?
Discussion? It would be my recommendation if they should agree. I did have a tremendous time negotiating with the firefighters union, but I also think it was a great educational opportunity. So I would yield the opportunity to negotiate with the police department to Councilor Torialde, if he agrees to it, as well as Councilor Vignali, who I found to be a tremendous mentor throughout this whole process. Only if you agree. So up to you guys.
I agree.
I would very much like to do this.
Excellent.
So moved then, Donna and Ryan?
So you're good with
Second.
that? Excellent. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Is there a motion to adjourn at a record time for us, 8:04 PM on March 17th?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Have a great
Happy-
evening, everyone.